Hello and welcome back to Literature with Jaisal. Today we are diving into Andrew Marvell's To His Coy Mistress, where the poet dreams of infinite devotion only to shatter it with the sobering reminder that time is limited and life is fleeting. Andrew Marvell was a 17th century English poet, politician, and satirist, often linked with the metaphysical poets such as John Donne. Now, these poets were famous for their sharp wit, unusual comparisons, and the way they blended emotion with philosophy. They could take a personal theme like love and stretch it out into images drawn from science, religion, and history, like I have previously discussed in my earlier videos. The poem also follows carpe diem poetic tradition. Now, carpe diem is a Latin phrase for seize the day. Or to put it simply, it means to embrace the present moment because time slips away and death is certain. So we need to live in the now, in the present moment. Most likely written in the 1650s, in the midst of the English interregnum period. Interregnum is a period between, is the in between period when the governments are changing, shifting, the period between two successive reigns. The poem was not published until the 1680s after Marvell's death. So it was an age of uncertainty. Civil wars, religious conflicts shaped people's view of life as fragile and fleeting. This awareness of mortality deeply influenced poets like Marvell. So, in To His Coy Mistress, there's an urgency to seize the day. Time is short, death is near, so life and love must be embraced with intensity. Let's now begin with the poem. Had we but world enough and time, this coyness lady were no crime. We would sit down and think which way to walk, and pass a long love's day. Thou by the Indian Ganges side should rubies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. I would love you 10 years before the flood, and you should, if you please, refuse till the conversion of the Jews. My vegetable love should grow vaster than empires and more slow. An 100 years should go to praise thine eyes, and on thy forehead gaze, 200 to adore each breast, but 30,000 to the rest. An age at least to every part, and the last age should show your heart. For lady, you deserve this state, nor would I love at a lower rate. Marvel begins with a what if. Had we but world enough and time. The whole seduction rests on this one condition. If they had infinite time, her coyness or her hesitation would not matter. He paints a world of endless patience, where love stretches into eternity. Marvel exaggerates the scale of his devotion. He would sit by the Indian Ganges admiring her, she could remain by the Humber. Distance and time would not weaken their bond. He would love her long before the biblical flood, and his love would last until the end of time, from the starting of time till the end of time. That is, if they had world enough and time. Then comes the most striking hyperbole. He would spend 100 years praising her eyes, 200 years admiring each breast, and 30,000 years on the rest of her body. This deliberate overstatement is both humorous and flattering. No part of her body would go unnoticed, no praise would ever end. Finally, he declares, my vegetable love should grow vaster than empires and more slow. Vegetable growth is organic, natural, and steady. His love is imagined as infinite, rooted, expanding slowly across time like the spread of empires. This stanza is lavish and almost fantastical. Marvel tempts his mistress with the dream of infinite adoration. But of course, it's only a dream, and the contrast will come sharply in the next stanza. Now, this stanza begins with a but. But at my back I always hear Time's winged chariot hurrying near, and yonder all before us lie deserts of vast eternity. Thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing song. Then worms shall try that long preserved virginity, and your quaint honor turn to dust, and into ashes all my lust. The grave's a fine and private place, but none, I think, do there embrace. Here Marvell reminds her that they do not, in fact, have world enough and time. Firstly, he imagined a dream-like situation. Now, he shatters that dream. He here always at his back, time's winged chariot hurrying near. This is one of the most powerful metaphors in English poetry. Time becomes a charioteer, racing towards them, unstoppable. The imagery shifts from playful eternity to grim urgency. He paints the future in chilling images, deserts of vast eternity. The afterlife is imagined not as a paradise, but as an endless, lifeless desert. Silence, absence, and nothingness. Beauty will fade, passion will rot, and love will wither. The imagery turns even darker. Thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault shall sound my echoing love. This means in the grave neither beauty nor love will survive. The worms shall try that long preserved virginity. It's a very grotesque line. It reminds her that death strips away all modesty and all hesitation. Here Marvell makes his point clear. Coyness, if stretched too long, will end in dust and decay. Her honor, her youth, her beauty, everything will vanish. Time devours all things. This stanza also breaks the illusion of eternity built in the first. From dreamy adoration, the poem turns into a memento mori, which is a reminder of death's inevitability. Memento mori means remember that you are mortal and death is inevitable for you. Marvell presses the urgency. Love cannot wait because time never waits. Now here comes the third stanza, a resolution, and it begins with therefore. Now therefore, while the youthful hue sits on thy skin like morning dew, and while thy willing soul transpires at every pore with instant fires, now let us sport us while we may, and now, like amorous birds of prey, rather at once our time devour than languish in his slow chapped power. Let us roll all our strength and all our sweetness up into one ball and tear our pleasures with rough strife through the iron grates of life. Thus, though we cannot make a sun stand still, yet we make him run. In this stanza, Marvell shifts into persuasion with the opening statement, now therefore. If time is short, then they must act while youth still burns in them. He urges her while her skin still glows with youth, while passion still flows through every pore with instant fires. Let them embrace their desire. This is not lust alone. It is presented as natural, urgent, and almost a cosmic force. The imagery is fiery and violent. He proposes they roll all strength and all our sweetness up into one ball. This image of uniting their power and tenderness suggests total fusion, the union of body, soul, and passion. Together, they should tear our pleasures with rough strife, an image of vigorous intensity. Marvell suggests they cannot stop time, but they can make it run. Instead of waiting passively, they should devour life with urgency, as if chasing the sun itself. This is the true heart of Carpe Diem, to seize fleeting moments before they are swallowed by eternity. The tone is rebellious. If time is a tyrant, then their love will resist by burning more brightly. Passion becomes a form of defiance against mortality. Thus, the third stanza becomes both the climax of persuasion and the philosophy of the poem. Live fully, love fiercely, because tomorrow may never even come. Marvell structures this poem from fantasy to mortality and finally to urgency. He reminds us that while time's chariot races towards us, love has the power to resist by seizing the present moment. This is typical of Carpe Diem poems. The message is simple yet eternal. Time will not wait, so love must not delay. Thank you for watching.